tiny red eyes, a great big white mouth.
George hates Daddy, not...
In 1966, Mike Nichols directed the film adapted from Edward Albee's play. Its controversial themes sparked debate among audiences and censors. The movie's raw portrayal of marital strife and psychological turmoil challenged societal norms of the time. The intense verbal battles and emotional conflicts between the characters pushed boundaries, igniting heated discussions about relationships, communication, and personal demons. The bold storytelling and unflinching performances left a lasting impact, solidifying its place in cinematic history. Despite the controversies, the film became a defining piece of art that dared to delve into the darker aspects of human nature. In 1966, the film starred Elizabeth Taylor as Martha, Richard Burton as George, George Segal as Nick, and Sandy Dennis as Honey. Richard Burton and Elizabeth Taylor portray a middle-aged married couple whose charged relationship is defined by unbelievable verbal battles. Underneath all the yelling and screaming, there's an emotional dependence they have for each other. This abuse is completely fueled by the excessive consumption of alcohol. George's character, being an associate professor of history in a university where Martha's father is the president, adds a whole new dimension to their relationship. Late one Saturday evening after a faculty mixer, Martha invites Nick, played by George Segal, and Honey, played by Sandy Dennis, over to their house for a nightcap. Segal's character is an ambitious young biology professor that's new to the university, and with that comes his mousy wife, played by Sandy Dennis. As the evening progresses, the two end up consuming more and more alcohol. They get caught up in George and Martha's games of needing to hurt each other and everyone around them, but the ultimate abuse comes in the form of talk about George and Martha's unseen 16-year-old son. The movie holds a very special place in Oscar history. It's one of only 2 films to get Oscar nominations in every single category that it was eligible for. The other film to achieve this feat was Cimarron from 1931, but things were entirely different then. There were only 9 categories that year, 7 of which applied to Cimarron. It was the first production to have 100 of its credited cast, all 4 of them, be nominated for Oscars. This feat has been duplicated a couple of times after this with the 1972 drama Sleuth, a 2-person drama, and Give Them Hell, Harry from 1975, which was a James Whitmore one-man show about Harry Truman. Warner Brothers' interest and challenges. The last of the original Warner Brothers had wanted the movie rights to this production as soon as he saw the play on Broadway in 1962. Most of Hollywood assumed that regardless of the play's popularity, its profanity and sexual frankness made it entirely unable to be filmed. However, the screenwriter Ernest Lehman convinced Warner that it could be done. Warner ended up paying the playwright Edward Albee $500,000 for the movie rights, plus 10% of the gross after the film earned $6 million. Jack Warner initially wanted to star Bette Davis and James Mason in this project. They were both in their late 50s, the right age for the roles. The screenwriter was thrilled at the idea of Davis playing Martha, quoting Davis in the movie by saying, "What a dump this is in the first scene," a line from the 1949 movie Beyond the Forest. However, getting the dark, dialogue-heavy film past censors and appealing to audiences would be a tough sell. The screenwriter suggested Elizabeth Taylor as the big star needed for the roles. Henry Fonda was considered for the role of George, but his agent shielded him from the controversial script of the film, reflecting the era's unease with such dialogue. Elizabeth Taylor hesitated to play the part of a bitter middle-aged woman, feeling she was too young and beautiful. However, Richard Burton persuaded her to accept the challenge, leading her to secure a substantial salary and a share of the movie's profits. Their decisions shaped the film's casting and success. The movie was obviously inspired by the song Who's Afraid of the Big Bad Wolf, sung by Walt Disney's Three Little Pigs from 1933. However, Warner Brothers was unable to negotiate with Disney for the use of this tune. When the characters sang the title phrase, it was instead set to the melody of Here We Go Round the Mulberry Bush. Richard Burton and Elizabeth Taylor were certainly forces to be reckoned with on the set of the film. It was a real challenge to get them in front of the camera every day. They had it in their contracts that they didn't have to be on set until 10 a.m., even though most other productions started at dawn. After arriving on set, it would take about 2 hours for makeup, hair, and wardrobe before they were ready to shoot. By then, it was already lunchtime. They often went out for lengthy, cocktail-filled lunches and returned late in the afternoon to start shooting. Despite the delays, their performances in front of the camera were stunning and powerful. However, the studio was not as understanding about the delays caused by the couple's tardiness. The director faced pressure as the film fell 30 days behind schedule, causing the budget to soar. The studio considered removing the director, but knew that if they did, the Burtons would walk off the set. The director was advised early on by a colleague to fire somebody on the very first day. This would be a way to establish authority on the set. Nichols at the time was completely new to filmmaking and took all the help that he could get from other people. He decided to do what they said. The unlucky person on the receiving end was the first assistant director. This all happened when Nichols heard him say on the first shot of the first day, "Oh well, it's just another picture." This dismissive nonchalance irritated the director strongly, and he fired him on the spot. The film is just loaded with words, phrases, and dialogue that the big screen had never seen before. It was much worse in the play. Looking back on this, it's amazing that they got it through the censors and onto the screen. It's said that this is like shooting a flaming arrow into a haystack, with that haystack being the Motion Picture Association of America and their production code office. They put an enormous amount of pressure on Mike Nichols to make certain changes. For instance, the scene towards the beginning of the movie where Martha ends up yelling "screw you" to her husband, just as he opens the door to their guest. Elizabeth Taylor had already shot this scene and said that line as it was written. Warner Brothers had the director change that line to "damn you," which Taylor ended up re-recording since this new phrase clearly didn't fit with the words her mouth was saying in the footage. They used a shot of her and her back as she starts to say it with a shot of Richard Burton opening the door. The movie faced resistance from the production code office due to its explicit content and language. Despite making alterations, the office still declined to give the film its approval. However, the Motion Picture Association of America recognized its significance and granted the movie a rare exemption. The association acknowledged that the language used in the film served a purpose rather than being gratuitous. As a result, the film was required to carry a warning stating that viewers under 18 must be accompanied by a parent or guardian. This precaution marked the first instance of such a warning and set the stage for similar labeling with the introduction of the new rating system in the ensuing years. The movie premiered in 1966 and follows the story of a turbulent marriage between Martha and George. They invite a young couple, Nick and Honey, over for drinks, leading to a night of intense emotional revelations and shocking truths. Set in the living room of Martha and George's house, the film explores themes of deception, lies, and power dynamics within relationships. The characters struggle with their personal demons and hidden secrets that come to light throughout the night. Who's Afraid of Virginia Woolf received critical acclaim and several awards for its powerful performances and intense storytelling, making it a classic in the realm of psychological dramas. The casting process for the 1966 movie Who's Afraid of Virginia Woolf involved meticulous auditions and chemistry tests to select the key actors for each role. Elizabeth Taylor, already a renowned actress, was chosen for the role of Martha due to her powerful presence and emotional depth. Taylor's chemistry with Richard Burton, who was cast as George, solidified their portrayals of a complex and tumultuous couple. For the role of Honey, the naive and vulnerable wife of Nick, Sandy Dennis was selected after delivering a compelling audition that captured the essence of the character. Lastly, for the role of Nick, a young and ambitious academic, George Siegel's audition stood out for his ability to convey both charm and underlying tension. Through rigorous auditions and chemistry tests, the casting directors were able to assemble a cast that brought the intense dynamics of Who's Afraid of Virginia Woolf to life on screen, creating a timeless cinematic masterpiece. The directorial vision behind the 1966 movie Who's Afraid of Virginia Woolf was to create a raw and intense portrayal of marital dysfunction. The director, Mike Nichols, drew inspiration from the original play's themes of psychological gamesmanship and emotional turmoil. His approach involves showcasing the characters' underlying insecurities and complexities through nuanced performances. Nichols' directing style emphasized realism and authenticity, aiming to capture the raw emotions of the characters as they unravel during a tumultuous night. He collaborated closely with the cast, including Elizabeth Taylor and Richard Burton, encouraging them to delve deep into their roles and bring out the characters' vulnerabilities. Working with the crew, Nichols created a tense and claustrophobic atmosphere, using tight shots and dim lighting to enhance the sense of unease between the characters. The director's attention to detail and focus on character dynamics brought a heightened sense of drama to the screen. Overall, Nichols' directorial vision for Who's Afraid of Virginia Woolf was to craft a compelling and unflinching exploration of human relationships, highlighting the complexities of love, power, and identity. The production of the 1966 movie Who's Afraid of Virginia Woolf involved meticulous set design and the use of innovative techniques. The film was shot on location to bring authenticity to the story, with the intense domestic drama unfolding within a realistic environment. Logistical challenges arose during filming, requiring careful coordination of actors, crew, and equipment. The set design focused on creating a claustrophobic atmosphere to heighten the tension between characters. Innovative lighting techniques were employed to enhance the mood and drama of the scenes. Overall, the production of this classic film was a complex and challenging endeavor that ultimately contributed to its compelling storytelling. The musical score and soundtrack of the 1966 movie Who's Afraid of Virginia Woolf were carefully crafted to enhance the narrative and emotional tone of the film. The composers and musicians involved in creating the music for the movie understood the importance of using music to deepen the audience's connection to the story and characters. The music in the film helped to convey the complex emotions and dynamics between the characters, adding layers of depth to the storytelling. Composers worked closely with the director to ensure that the music seamlessly integrated with the film's themes and overall mood, creating a cohesive viewing experience for the audience. Through a combination of orchestral pieces, jazz arrangements, and vocal performances, the soundtrack of Who's Afraid of Virginia Woolf skillfully captured the tension, drama, and intimacy of the film. The music underscored pivotal moments in the plot, heightening the impact of key scenes and drawing viewers further into the characters' lives. Overall, the score and soundtrack of the film played a critical role in shaping the emotional landscape of Who's Afraid of Virginia Woolf and contributing to its enduring legacy in cinema. In the 1966 movie Who's Afraid of Virginia Woolf, one iconic scene is the intense late-night confrontation between George and Martha, played by Richard Burton and Elizabeth Taylor. The raw emotions and biting dialogue highlight the depth of their troubled relationship. Director Mike Nichols expertly captures the tension with close-ups and long takes, immersing the audience in the characters' turmoil. Cinematographer Haskell Wexler's stark lighting adds to the sense of claustrophobia, enhancing the impact of each revelation. Burton and Taylor's powerful performances draw viewers into the characters' emotional turmoil, leaving a lasting impression on the audience. The filmmakers and actors saw this scene as a pivotal moment that encapsulates the film's themes of love, pain, and disillusionment. The 1966 movie Who's Afraid of Virginia Woolf had a significant cultural and social impact. It resonated with audiences by presenting a raw and unfiltered portrayal of marriage and relationships, breaking societal taboos surrounding these topics. The film's intense and gritty dialogue challenged traditional norms, sparking discussions on the complexities of human interactions and the facade of perfection often portrayed in society. Influencing pop culture, the movie set a new standard for realistic and daring storytelling in cinema. Its exploration of psychological depth and emotional turmoil paved the way for more honest and provocative filmmaking in the years to come. The performances of the lead actors, Elizabeth Taylor and Richard Burton, added to the film's allure, becoming iconic representations of flawed yet compelling characters. Who's Afraid of Virginia Woolf contributed to discussions on relevant social and cultural themes such as truth, illusion, and the masks people wear in their daily lives. The movie forced viewers to confront uncomfortable truths about relationships and human nature, leaving a lasting impact on how society viewed marriage, identity, and communication. Overall, the film's daring narrative, powerful performances, and thought-provoking themes left an indelible mark on both cinema and society, challenging audiences to reflect on their own lives and relationships in a candid and unapologetic manner. Who's Afraid of Virginia Woolf received critical acclaim upon its release in 1966. Critics praised the intense performances of the lead actors, Elizabeth Taylor and Richard Burton. Audience reactions were mixed due to the dark and emotionally charged nature of the film. The movie received 13 Academy Award nominations and won 5, including Best Actress for Elizabeth Taylor. These accolades brought prestige and recognition to the actors and the film itself, solidifying their places in cinematic history. The critical acclaim and awards elevated the film to a classic status, ensuring its lasting impact on the world of cinema. During the filming of the 1966 movie Who's Afraid of Virginia Woolf, there was an intense scene where the characters George and Martha engage in a heated argument. Elizabeth Taylor, who played Martha, was so engulfed in the moment that she actually bit her on-screen husband, Richard Burton's finger, drawing blood. Despite the unexpected turn, the actors continued with the scene, intensifying the emotional depth of their performances. This incident added a raw authenticity to the film's portrayal of a troubled marriage. The dedication of the cast to their roles truly brought the characters to life on screen, creating a memorable cinematic experience for viewers. In the realm of film history, the 1966 movie Who's Afraid of Virginia Woolf holds a significant place. Its raw depiction of intense emotions and complex relationships pushed boundaries in filmmaking. This groundbreaking work influenced future filmmakers by showing the power of intense dialogue and character-driven storytelling. Its legacy can be seen in later works that aim to delve deep into the human psyche and explore the complexities of relationships on screen. Are you a fan of the 1966 movie Who's Afraid of Virginia Woolf? Share your experiences and memories with us. How did this film impact you personally or change your view of cinema? Engage with us by liking, sharing, and subscribing for more cinematic discussion.